Within the rolling plains of northern Arizona lies a crack in the sandstone almost impossible to see. A small fracture swallowing both the light and the sand blowing over. Millions of years of rainfall shaped the thousands of layers making up the winding walls, carving a most otherworldly sight, Antelope Canyon. This is day 3 of a spontaneous trip to Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona, where I've seen fiery spires and ancient cities. It's now 9:39. Just got checked into the tour, so I got 6 minutes to wait for the bus to pick me up. I'm on the way to do a tour of Upper Antelope Canyon about 20 minutes away from town. The lower second section is close by, but not connected. Ever since 1977, Navajo Parks and Recreation closed this area to the public, and only those accompanied with an authorized tour guide are allowed in. Luckily, the groups aren't that big. My tour was with 10 people. Once in the canyon, my breath was instantly taken away by the 120-foot tall walls with textures I've never seen before. Normally, I like photographing in cloudy weather or at sunset so the light isn't so harsh, but for this adventure, the blazing late morning sun lit up the rocks so much that they looked like they were glowing. The sun also highlighted a pretty cool feature, sand waterfalls. 30+ mile-an-hour winds would blow the sand down into the canyon and most of the time onto my head. The discovery of Antelope Canyon, named after the large amounts of antelope known to roam atop in the winter, remains elusive and up for debate. Some say a 12-year-old Navajo girl stumbled across it in 1931 while herding sheep, but others think it could have been discovered much earlier in the 1800s. One thing for sure, though, is how important it remains to the Navajo people, who believe a more holy power was involved in the canyon's creation. Near the end of the tour, the guide pointed out small holes littering the rock. She says these are wounds from gunshots, which was only one type of graffiti known to deface the sacred place. After most of the vandalism was taken care of, the Navajo Nation decided it would be best to only let people in while accompanied with a trusted guide. Tour rates and availability vary quite drastically depending on the season. I'm going in early March, so I paid just under $100 and I booked only the night before. There's not just one company that does the tours, but multiple, so I'd advise shopping around to find the best deal. Prices will also vary depending on which canyon you see. The upper is the more popular and about $20 more expensive, or at least it was for me at the time that I booked. Only about 40 minutes after entering, you spit out the other side. The timing was impeccable. Right after we got out of the canyon, the clouds shrouded the sky and rain started to fall once we made our way back to the vehicle. But it definitely didn't dampen my mood. Throughout the bus rides and the tour, 2 couples were striking up some conversation, making the tour a lot more fun to share some of those memories with, as I've been traveling alone for this whole time. Once back at the station, they invited me to get some chicken. I highly recommend this place. It's called Birdhouse, and I had a great chicken sandwich there with honey mustard for only $9. Once we were throwing our wrappers away, the rain started to dissipate, and I knew I had to make the most of it before making the long journey back home. About half an hour away in a different direction, you can take a hike to a pretty famous spot definitely you've seen on a calendar before, Horseshoe Bend. The walk there wasn't bad, just tons of people and so much wind. Now I know some photographers don't like going to places like this because it is already so marketed and there's so many photos of it out there, but personally I like the challenge of going and trying to capture my own version of that and find out how my style would fit in with that scene. And even if it ends up looking like everybody else, I mean, at the end of the day, it's nice to have in the portfolio, especially when I'm selling prints at like craft fairs and stuff like that. People want something recognizable, so it might not be the most artistic photo that I come out with, but it's a great piece to have in the collection. It was about 1:30 when I got back to my car, and I knew before I left I wanted to get a better look at this end of Lake Powell. I had only ever been to the Utah side before, so I drove to a pretty cool dam and a different overlook of a marina. Now it's about 3 o'clock and we've got a 6.5 hour drive back home to western Colorado. On the drive, I passed Kayenta, which I found out is the entrance to Monument Valley, a place I'm definitely hoping to see at some point soon. The rest of the drive was pretty repetitious, so I'll save you the time, but I got home, showered, removing what felt like a pound of sand from my hair, and started uploading the footage. I think from Thursday specifically, my favorite photos are definitely from Antelope Canyon, and that kind of goes back to what I was talking about of being in a popular place, but trying to have my own spin-off. And I feel like I did a pretty good job getting my own style to sort of seep in there. So here's a look. Now, like I mentioned, this was part of a bigger adventure that I went on throughout the week to Bryce Canyon in Utah, to some ancient ruins in New Mexico that I've got to say really do dwarf Mesa Verde, which was pretty cool to see and walk around in. So I can't wait to get that out and show you guys what adventures I took. But until then, I'm Timber Schumann.